jump in the game for the other person. They let the other person stay in their own game, and they stay on the sideline, but while championing and asking those empowering questions. Okay, so my original name of my business was Champion of Champions, just for that reason, because I champion people to be their own champions. A coach doesn't give answers, a coach asks the questions that has someone comes up with their own answers. Okay, and then, so David Emerald was saying challenge here. What used to be the perpetrator, where people say, oh, it's raining today, I can't go for a run, or it's raining today, I can't do what I wanted to do, oh, that weather, or oh, that Trump, the whole country's a mess because of him. Instead of labeling something bad and wrong and giving myself an excuse not to do something, or even calling it a challenge and saying, oh, this is going to be really hard. Sometimes a challenge can be like, yeah, it's a challenge, well, let's go for it, which is fine. But an opportunity, it's like, what can I learn here? What's the opportunity for me? What's the opportunity for you? What's the opportunity for all of us in this thing? Because when we bump up against something, a lot of times it's something new, which causes us to go inside and generate a solution that was never thought of before. And that's how change happens, right? You have a thought, you take action on it, and then an outcome happens. So, if someone lives here, from me to me, within myself, every time I talk to myself, I'm not saying, oh, you're so stupid, you can't do anything. In my own thoughts, between me and me, I'm saying, what can you create? You know you can do it. There's an opportunity in this. What is it? If I have this conversation inside myself, everything becomes smooth. Everything becomes easy because I'm not being my own obstacle. I'm not using my own thoughts to stop myself. Here, my thoughts are stopping me. Everything's bad, I can't do it. Oh, I wish someone would rescue me. Oh, I'm going to go save the world. And then I'm not going to get my life done because I'm not doing everybody else's work for them. Or I'm the victim and somebody needs to do it for me. So here, it's like you have 3 people, but only the work of one person is getting done. Here you have 3 people and the work of 3 plus 4 plus 5. Everybody's a player. Nobody gets to sit on the sidelines. Everybody is empowered in this. So it's this conversation you have within yourself and the conversation you have with others. And there's no blame, there's no fault in this, because when you're championing someone who's used to you rescuing them, and all of a sudden you're not rescuing them anymore, they might go, oh, you don't love me anymore, because they're used to being rescued and they're fearful and they're scared. But if you're championing them, eventually they're going to get used to, well, look, this person is on my side. They love me, they want the best for me, and once they actually take their own action and they start doing things, they will feel empowered. And I guarantee at some point they will be thanking you for not continuing to rescue them in the way that's disempowering. And this is by no means any way to say, oh, you shouldn't go help people. There are people that need help, real help, and sometimes just enough to get them over that hump, right? But don't get stuck here. And don't see anybody as a victim, because nobody wants to be seen as a victim. People want to be seen as a creator. They want to be championed, and they want opportunity to show themselves and to show everybody else that they can do it. So in your mind and in how you see others, move from victim to creator, move from rescuer to champion, which is cheerleader, coach, and player, and move from perpetrator or persecutor to opportunity. And then you can say to yourself, I am the CCO of my life. That's C, creator, C, champion, and C, opportunity. Ooh, C, opportunity. And then you will see opportunity. I just got that. I just got that. Okay, so, yeah, perfect time for questions. So, questions, yes.
Yeah, let me share you a story of a very successful developer.
Wonderful.
Multi-billionaire dollar, one of the 200 richest in the world. And every time I go to the Philippines, I have tea with him, one-on-one. And there was a time when there was a world recession. And I asked him, are you too worried about the recession? He said, no. This is time for me to sit down and wait, and investors who are losing their property, they come to me with good proposals. I choose among them, and then that's the time I invest.
So
So
he
he
saw
finds
the
it in-
opportunity in it.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah, wonderful.
that's his line of thinking.
Perfect. Right in line with it. Yeah, it's that's where we create from, right? Where everybody else is saying, "Oh no,"
Yeah.
he's saying, "Opportunity."
I'll sit down and wait.
Sit down and wait. Wonderful.
Yeah.
You know, there's a book, it's called Tuesdays with Maury.
Oh yeah.
You
I've
know
read
the
this
book?
book. I have not read it, but I've heard of it.
Oh, you got
I've
it.
got to read it. I know. I do. I do.
I told my son about it. You read it? Isn't it awesome? This guy, you know, every Tuesday he meets with this Maury, and Maury is on his way out. He's dying, and every Tuesday he was his professor way back, and now he's in his deathbed. And at first he didn't know whether to go or not, but now he meets every Tuesday with, and all along he's talking about the kinds of things you're saying in a sense, you know. But it's an awesome book, Tuesdays with Maury. You sure
I'm
read
going
it?
to read it. Yes.
Yeah, Maury.
Yes. Yeah. And I know I've heard so much about that, so I'm just going to make a note to myself right here.
Tuesdays with Maury.
Yeah.
You read it, huh, Alma? What do you think?
I did. It was a really good book.
Awesome,
Makes
yeah.
you think.
Mm.
I have a quick observation. I used to coach tennis, and what I realized when I was learning tennis was that my best coach was really bad at tennis. So then
Wow.
there's like the better somebody is at tennis, for some reason they're really bad at coaching, and it's because they take that drama triangle
Yeah.
perspective into it, that they try to turn their student into they have a right way of doing it, instead of letting the student learn how to play tennis their own way and then working with that style.
Wow.
Which is
So they think they're rescuing them with their own way. And they're actually getting in the way of the student learning for themselves.
right, because they like, for example, the coach that I didn't really get along with was like 6'3", 190 pounds. So you know, learning to play the tennis his way is a little bit out of my reach.
Oh.
But the coach that I did really well with, he saw what I was good at, and built a game around my abilities, and at the end of the day I ended up becoming a national level player. So
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a great
I
story.
did not know that.
Great.
yeah, I was
Yeah.
ranked 14 in the nation for
Wow.
a amount of time.
Wow, that's wonderful.
Seriously?
National.
Yeah.
Wow.
National.
I was yeah. Sorry.
No, don't apologize then.
Oh yeah. No, it just yeah. I
Good
used
job.
to play in high school and everything. So
Awesome. Wow, thanks, Glenn. You know what that reminds me of is, you know, there's a thing that says if you can't do it, coach it. It's a joke, right? But I've also noticed like people who are like really, really naturally good at life, like maybe they just happen to be born in a wonderful space with great parents who did everything right, and so they're happy and everything's perfect. They're really good at life, but teaching it to someone else, I don't think maybe they see the process of going from not knowing something to
Yeah.
knowing something because they've always known it. So, I mean, I don't know. I think there's exceptions to every rule, but I've noticed that it seems if somebody has an experience where they had to work through something or they didn't know before and they had to go through that process, they could start like me. I had to get conscious to change my life. So now I can consciously change a thought to create an outcome because I've studied for so long, but my life didn't look like this when I was. The reason I do this is because when I was younger, I didn't like myself. I didn't like the way life was, and I knew that I needed to do something to change it. And so now I can actually do it consciously. It wasn't just that, oh, life is happy, I'm going to teach everybody how to do it. It wasn't like that at all.
So you changed from what to what now? What is it?
Oh, nice question. Okay, so I changed from, how about something like, well, it's funny because what we are and what we think we are different things. But I changed from thinking of myself maybe as an unhappy loser to knowing more about the truth
Uh-huh.
underneath that we all are, which is a greatness that we can create because that's what we naturally are. I just didn't think I was that. So I worked hard against it until I realized that the negative thoughts I was making up about myself weren't
Yeah.
true. I don't know if that answered your question.
Thanks for sharing.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Thank you for asking.
Wow.
Any
That
more
was
questions?
awesome.
Oh,
Thank you.
thank you.
Really good.
Oh, thank you very much.
You should put this, the one back up with your phone number now.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Did you-